Coming in at number 10 today, we have Ariana Grande. The rumors surrounding Ariana Grande's alleged diva behavior has been circulating online for years now, while Ariana has been denying the claims. In 2014, she would make an appearance on the Australian radio show Mike, E and Emma to say, "That's not real. That's nonsense. My fans know who I am, my family knows who I am, my friends know who I am, and that's all that matters." However, someone would then disagree with Ariana's claims. E! News correspondent Juliana Rancic would say, "I think she does have a little bit of a diva thing going on." The TV host would say, I think I was at the AMAs, she came up to the platform, and I normally stand on the left side of the camera. I had to fight 13 years to get this side of the camera. It's my good side. But I fought 13 years for it, okay?" Little Ariana comes over and I feel like bing, elbow in my side. I'm like, what's going on? And they push me to the other side. While the thought of the two stars fighting over their good side to be shown on the camera sounds hilarious, we weren't really surprised Ariana Grande won this round because don't forget, if she wants something, she'll get something. So, thank you next. Coming at number 9, Christina Aguilera. Christina Aguilera has built up quite a reputation for not being the friendliest person among the Hollywood's elite. One celebrity this pop star has apparently rubbed off wrong with is Valerie Bertinelli. TV host Andy Cohen would once even ask Valerie to spill the dirt on what went on between the two starlets during a 2014 episode on Watch What Happens Live. She would clarify that she and Christina didn't have an all-out feud, but the singer did snub her once at one of her ex-husband's, Eddie Van Halen's concerts. Valerie would say, "I was a fan at the time and I went up to her because she was at a Van Halen concert and I said, 'Oh my god, I think you're a beautiful singer,' and she went, 'Yeah, whatever,' and gave me the cold shoulder. And I thought, V, I'm a fan, you can't be nice to me." Now it's clear that Christina Aguilera hates compliments. However, after Andy asked Valerie if she's ever seen Christina again, the Hot in Cleveland star would reply by saying, "I have not, but you know what? She may have gotten better, but I heard she hasn't." And the rumor has it that Christina isn't the nicest person that she's perceived to be on TV and in the movies. It seems like you maybe want to think twice before you give her a compliment because you might just get this unexpected reaction that may just break your heart. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming at number 8, we have Charlize Theron. So you probably shouldn't bother with someone while they're in the middle of a workout. But this is exactly what Tia Mowry decided to do during one particular soul class, and it didn't end up too well for her. In 2014, the former child star would recount a time where she allegedly and awkwardly got snubbed by one of her favorite actors, Charlize. Tia would say, "She wasn't really nice to me. I said hi, and she actually rolled her eyes and said, 'Oh my god.'" Tia would then add that there was no way that she was over the top with her hi, as she knew how to approach another celebrity. Later on, Andy Cohen decided to rehash the gossip with Charlize on an episode of Watch What Happens Next. Charlize would then say, "What a B," the starlet joked, and when she asked about the stitch, she would then say she never heard this story, and she would ask if Tia actually said it or was it just written. When Andy explained that the tale was originated in the tabloid, Charlize would then respond by saying, "Oh, well, you can't go by that, right? I'm really nice at SoulCycle, actually, because once my endorphins kick in, I'm actually almost too friendly." Later, Tia would even clear the air in 2017 and say it was all blown out of proportion. But was it Tia, or are you just saying that so she won't roll her eyes at you during the next session? Number 7, Michael Jordan. Now, Michael Jordan is the GOAT when it comes to basketball. Unfortunately, it seems the legendary player's intensity on the court has sometimes translated off it as well, which huge fan and rapper Chat Millionaire realized following an incident with the basketball giant in 2009. "I saw Michael Jordan taking pictures with girls and I was like, man, this is just that one moment I'm going to ask Mike for a picture. I kind of expected him to say no, so I wasn't mad if he said no. The way he said it, apparently when Chat Millionaire went over to ask for a photo, Michael would say, 'Oh, hell nah, man. I ain't taking no pictures with no ends.'" While many of us were shocked to hear this, the story would then obviously be picked up and streamed at the time, even among ESPN, which noted there's also widespread support of the idea that Jordan is no saint. We can't help but wonder if the public perception of Jordan is shifting. As for number 23 himself, Jordan seemingly decided to prove Chat Millionaire's claims wrong, as years later he was seen posting with fellow rap artist 2 Chainz in an Instagram snap. However, do we think this was just him trying to save his image, or was Chat Millionaire actually lying? Number 6, Lea Michele. If you're an A-list celebrity, you should probably avoid being rude to an up-and-comer on the rise. Cue 13-year-old Hailee Steinfeld, who was en route home after a successful audition in December of 2009. Hailee would say, "I was on the Paramount lot." Glee also films on the lot, and I love that show. When Hailee saw Lea walking to her trailer, she would walk up to her and ask for an autograph. However, Lea would give her the cold shoulder and pretended like she was someone that didn't exist. A guy would then approach Hailee and tell her sorry, it's just not a good time. Hailee would then reveal that the whole thing was just so sad that she actually practically went home crying. Later, Lea would then tell Gossip Cop, who is known as Just Jared, that she heard that Hailee was upset and she felt terrible about it. Lea would then say, "The Glee schedule is so jam-packed that the PA probably pulled me so I wouldn't be late to set. I never meant to hurt her feelings. She's an extraordinary talent and I look forward to meeting her one day." However, after claims would come out saying that Lea made several of her co-stars' lives miserable while shooting Glee, it's hard to say if she was telling the truth, as her personality seems to kind of be snaky at best. Number 5, Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence has been considered by many to be Hollywood's quirky it girl, as she is always one to speak her mind. She tends to fall in public, and she's generally viewed as being super relatable by her fans. But is this Oscar-winning starlet taking her fame for granted? When Jennifer sat down for an interview with Adam Sandler in 2017, the variety actor on the Actor series, the two would discuss the negative aspects fans have and that sometimes they just don't understand what it means by respecting someone's personal space. Jennifer would go on to say, "Once I enter a public place, I become incredibly rude. I turn into a huge a-hole." She would then go on to explain that she does this so she can defend herself, because when her fans ask her to take a selfie, she just finds the whole moment super icky. While Adam, on the other hand, went on to make this really awkward laugh at the remark, he would then try to offer his own 2 cents to the young starlet. He said, "I don't shut them down. My new move has been, it works alright when it's an older guy. I say, you don't want that man." Nonetheless, the damage was already seemingly done, as her explanation didn't quite rub well on many of her fans. I mean, considering these are the people that put money in your pocket, maybe just politely decline the photo and opt to get to know them instead, because a lot of your fans are actually the people who inspire to be you one day. And number 4, Chevy Chase. Now, Pete Davidson has had his fair share of celebrity feuds, and one of his sparring partners is no stranger to controversy. Another former Saturday Night Live star, Chevy Chase, wasn't a fan of the show's 2018 cast, as he told the Washington Post, "I'm amazed that Lauren has gone so low. How could you dare give that generation worse stuff than they already have in their lives? It drives me nuts." Davidson didn't take this too kindly, and he would respond by telling Howard Stern that he hated Chevy Chase because he is generally a bad person, a racist, and he simply just didn't like him. In the true Chevy fashion, the comedy star would then tell CBS Sunday Morning with a laugh in February 2022 saying, "You know who I am, and I like who I am, and it's a part of me, and I don't care. Thought about that a lot, and I don't know what to tell you, man. I just don't care." Chase, of course, has also been accused of controversial behavior on set, with his former Community co-star Donald Glover allegedly being the target of racist jokes. As the show creator Dan Harmon told The New Yorker in 2018, for his part, Glover said, "I just saw Chevy as fighting time. A true artist has to be okay with his reign being over. But I know there's a human in there somewhere." Number 3, Mariah Carey. Now, lots of celebrities have been accused of diva behavior, and some have even owned it. But perhaps few have been called a diva as many times as Mariah Carey has. It's no lie that Mariah is incredibly talented, however, she isn't everybody's favorite cup of tea. Just ask fellow singer Demi Lovato. Back in 2016, the former Disney Channel star made her feelings about Mariah perfectly clear by saying, "The woman is mean for no reason. Extremely talented, yes. Superhuman? Possibly. Unnecessarily rude? Absolutely." While the star would go on to post this as a comment on a since deleted Instagram post, her comment would come on the heels of another removed post of Mariah in which the "always be my baby" hitmaker seemed to diss Ariana Grande. As well, Mariah infamously continued the "I don't know" comments regarding Jennifer Lopez. Now, it's not hard to imagine that Jennifer, Demi, and Mariah won't be getting together anytime soon, but whatever distaste Mariah had or did have for Ariana must have dissipated, as in 2020, the two, alongside of Jennifer Hudson, collaborated on Mariah's Christmas track "Oh Santa," and Grande would would even join Mariah at the end to harmonize with the latter's signature whistle tone runs. However, while we all imagine Mariah to be so over the top, none of us really expected her to be this mega diva with no control, and it was pretty disappointing to see. Number 2, Jennifer Lopez. Rosie Perez and Jennifer Lopez worked together on Living Color in the early 90s. Perez was the choreographer for the sketch comedy show and even fought for Jennifer, who appeared in over 60 episodes to get her big break as a fly girl. In her 2014 memoir, Handbook for an Unpredictable Life, Perez would claim that the Waiting for Tonight hitmaker on-set behavior was inappropriate. All of the girls were coming into her office and complaining about how Jennifer was manipulating wardrobe, makeup, and Rosie to her advantage. Rosie would then claim that when she addressed the issues, Jennifer responded by screaming and pounding her chest. Unfortunately, their apparent feud heated up following Jennifer's exit from the show, with Rosie accusing her of acting fake and friendly. Rosie would also go on to say, "I was blindsided. I thought we were cool. I called her up and she wouldn't pick up." Shortly after Jennifer ended up ghosting her, Rosie would run into her at a club, and instead of remaining cool, she went in with her biting tongue and gave Jennifer a piece of her mind. On the positive side, it does seem like Rosie doesn't hold anything ill will towards Jennifer these days. As she's even said, "I don't hate Jennifer Lopez. I had great respect for her. Yes, we had a tiff and it was 20 years ago, and I write in my book, I've moved on. And I'm sure she has also. However, who knew Jennifer was actually so hard to work with on set? And it's actually pretty surprising to hear." And coming in number 1 today, we have Tommy Lee Jones. Oscar winner Tommy Lee Jones is apparently not a fan of Jim Carrey. The two worked together on Batman Forever back in the 90s, and as Carrey recounted on Normal McDonald Live in 2017, Jones didn't mince words when it came to his lack of fondness with his comedic co-star. After Carrey spotted him having dinner at the same restaurant as him, Carrey would end up going over and saying, "Hey Tommy, how you doing?" And Tommy's face would go white and he would start shaking, and it was at this moment Jim knew that he was about to have a pretty unpleasant interaction with the Men in Black actor. Jim would say, "And he went in to hug me and he said, 'I hate you. I really don't like you.'" While Jim went to find out what the problem was, he pulled up a chair, and that probably wasn't the best move to do, but he just wanted to talk things out, and Tommy said, "I cannot sanction your buffoonery." Now, Jim kept a mostly good attitude about the incident, summarizing, "I was the star and that was the problem. He's a phenomenal actor though, I still love him." Some have since defended Tommy's apparent attitude, however, as pal Richard Jones once told Texas Monthly that, "You need to remember, Tommy's got a lot of cowboy in him. He's got a cowboy spectism about people he doesn't know." For me personally, I don't know who I'm more disappointed in, Tom for not giving Jim a chance, or Jim who aired their dirty laundry out for everyone to hear. Coming in at number 10 today, we have Megan Fox. Because kindness still isn't universal online, Megan Fox has had to deal with some pretty nasty comments with some disrespectful fans. However, the star has also shot back some pretty sarcastic comments with fans to prove she's not the nicest person to deal with. Even crew members on the Transformers set have noted it was unbearable and ungracious to work with the star. When the 3 anonymous crew members who work with Megan on the blockbuster film came forward to talk about their time working on the set with her, they would become an open book and they would brand Megan as a dumb, ungracious, rude, and unbearable actress, and that it was just the tip of the toxic iceberg that they melted. The crew members went on to explain that after working for 12 months on set making 2 movies with the star, she showed little interest in the crew members around her, and while the crew worked extremely hard to make her look good in every single way, she never appreciated anyone's hard work and she never even said thank you. After she would be replaced after the second Transformers movie, after being difficult to work with, Megan would try to defend herself by saying the director, Michael Bay, was actually the nightmare to work with. However, once the crew members came forward anonymously against Megan, it would show the star was definitely someone you don't want to communicate with in Hollywood. Number 9, Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz is known for her work in Charlie's Angels and countless romantic comedies. However, she isn't known for being pleasant during fan interactions. If you were maybe looking to get an autograph from the star one day, you might just want to rethink that thought, as Cameron isn't afraid to refuse to give any fan a lecture on how dumb autographs are. During the red carpet event for the premiere of X-Tape, several eyewitnesses would come forward to say how awful Cameron was to her admirers. Fans have also explained that her behavior and attitude with them was absolutely disgusting. After fans waited hours for a chance to meet her, they would be ignored and some would even be lectured. Cameron at one point even yelled at one of her fans by saying, saying, "If I did it for you, I'd have to do it for everyone," before storming off. Cameron is known to be pretty unfriendly with her fans, and it's honestly pretty disappointing. However, she wouldn't be the only one to be rude and show terrible attitude towards fans during the X-Tape premiere, as Jason Segel would also be extremely rude to their fans who were there admiring the movie and them. With there only being 4 to 5 fans actually waiting for them, it would have taken less time for them to take a few photos and sign a couple autographs than it did to lecture their fans. Hey Peaches, are you enjoying this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in at number 8 today, we have Rihanna. So in 2014, Rihanna would come under fire as it would be discovered that she was cyberbullying a 16-year-old fan over her prom outfit. So Alexis Carter took style inspiration from Rihanna for her Hollywood-themed prom at her Baltimore high school in 2010. So the look Alexis tried to recreate was a look where Rihanna wore a head-turning teal wing jumpsuit. So Alexis loved this look so much that she decided to create her own version of the outfit, and then she would share some of the photos of her prom ensemble on social media. When memes quickly started to take off, showing the teen extending her arms and the material with the wings on full display. In one of the shots, she's shown next to a really glamorous red carpet photo of Rihanna in the exact same outfit, with a caption saying "Instagram versus real life comparison outfits." Another set of photos would also go viral with Alexis's pose, and she would be pictured next to a curved W of the Wu-Tang symbol. Rihanna would then share the images on her Twitter account, adding a frowny face to the one comparison photo of her. When the singer went to great lengths to put the pictures up side by side, mocking the fan, other fans would come to tell Riri that her move was uncool. However, when Rihanna posted a comparison photo of Alexis's dress with the Wu-Tang symbol, saying she gets it, we can't imagine anything more humiliating for a 16-year-old than to be mocked by your idol. And number 7, Hailey Bieber. Hailey Bieber got slammed over social media after a viral TikTok claimed that she was rude to a former restaurant hostess, Julia Carolyn. In the video, Julia would say that "This is going to be controversial. I met Hailey a handful of times, and every time she was just not nice. I really want to like her, but I have to give her 3.5 out of 10. Sorry." After Hailey found out about the video, she would end up taking to the comments to say, "Just came across this video and wanted to say sorry if I've ever given you bad vibes or bad attitude. That's not my intention." She also added that she hopes to one day meet the hostess again to apologize in person. Afterwards, Hailey would then open up and say she felt bad about Julia's experience with her and that it wasn't the greatest, and that the whole situation actually made her frustrated because you never know what someone's going through. Hailey then tried to explain that she was going through some pretty tough times and she was sad and heartbroken and felt like engaging with people was really hard for her. She wished she didn't act that way and that she made a mistake out of character for her, but if it happened on every occasion that you met her, do you really expect us to believe that it was really out of character for you? Coming in at number 6, Kendall Jenner. Now, Hailey wouldn't be the only celebrity that Julia would call out, as in 2 videos posted to her TikTok, she would reveal that she didn't have the best interactions with Kendall and Kylie Jenner. With Kendall being one of the most low-key members of the family, she's exhibited some pretty outrageous diva behavior in the past. In 2014, the model would find herself making headlines after finding herself in a situation with Mercer Kitchen in New York City. Jenner would be dining with her best friend, Hailey Bieber, and she got upset at the fact that the staff didn't want to serve her any more alcohol, so she decided it'd be a good idea to leave the establishment without paying for her meal. When she got confronted by the staff, she would then throw $20 at them without even checking to see if that was enough to cover her bill and her tip. 3 years after the initial dine and dash, Kendall would find herself under fire again after she failed to tip. When the establishment posted a picture of the receipt on their Instagram page, they would say, "Don't forget to tip your bartender." Kendall would then try to cover up her tracks by saying, "Next time we won't tip in cash." While it's hard to believe what actually happened in both of these separate events, Julia did reveal on her TikTok that Kendall doesn't talk to the staff and her behavior never really comes across well for those in the restaurant industry. And number 5, Jason Segel. Following the premiere of X-Tape at Union Square Theater in New York back in 2014, Jason Segel would find himself under fire for being unbelievably rude to fans who had shown up to support him in the new film. Eyewitnesses would later tell gossip sites that when Cameron Diaz and Jason were leaving the theater with a handful of fans asking for photos or autographs, the 2 celebrities just opted to treat them like dirt. The witnesses would even point out, while there was only 4 to 5 fans waiting, it's not like the fans were following them, as it was a premiere for fans to attend. However, both stars' attitudes towards the fans were absolutely disgusting. When a 20-year-old fan asked Jason for a photo when he was leaving the premiere, Jason would scream no, and he would literally slam the car door right in the fan's face. People in the crowd would then gasp to acknowledge how bad the moment actually was. Jason was downright nasty to his fan when there was no need for it. As there wasn't a huge crowd of people waiting for the stars, it was only 4 to 5 people, and it would have taken them less time to interact with the fans than it was to give them each lectures and slam doors in their face. So while Hollywood has painted him to be the sweet guy next door with the characters he plays, he's definitely not the guy we thought he was. At number 4, we have Jennifer Lawrence. So Jennifer Lawrence is known for her relatable personality and sense of humor. However, she hasn't always been super nice to her fans, and she's even admitted that she can actually be quite rude to her fans, so she can avoid interacting with them. Which is actually a pretty odd behavior if you think about it. Jennifer has said that her fearless approach to life doesn't come across well in the public eye. And in 2016, Jennifer would even lash out at a reporter for no reason because he was looking at his phone during a press conference instead of paying attention to her. She's even tried to explain that the reason she acts so rude is because it's the only way she knows how to defend herself, as she gets really protective about her private space. So if you see her out for dinner and you think it's a good idea to flash a couple photos on your iPhone, just know she's a really rude person and she might just call you out on it. She definitely doesn't want to, but she will do it. So people in the future, leave her alone because she's not your friend. And number 3, Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock may play these compassionate, caring characters, however, that doesn't mean that her real self is as kind or giving. And she's actually been described by many fans as one of the meanest people in Hollywood to meet. While the star refuses to make time for people, she was once considered to be one of America's sweethearts. However, her rude behavior has caused her to lose that title. In 2014, Denise Coates told Star magazine that she was out with her husband, who happens to be a war veteran, when they ran into Sandra in Boston while she was filming The Heat. Sandra was on a filming break, and when Denise and her husband approached her, Sandra just ended up being extremely rude. She would cover her face and would even start yelling at the couple and threw insults at the man in the wheelchair after they just asked her for an autograph. Now sure, we get it. Not all celebrities have time to greet their fans because they're on this busy schedule, and we understand it can be annoying when they're hounded by mobs of fans. However, with it being just a single wheelchair-bound veteran and his wife approaching you in a polite request, did the autograph really warrant a yelling match? She could have just turned down the request. Instead, she just shocked us all with her rude response. And number 2, Tobey Maguire. When Tobey Maguire had a pretty bad gambling habit, he was reportedly part of the infamous poker ring with Molly Bloom. Now, Molly organized games many Hollywood superstars attended in the early 2000s, but Tobey was one of her most frequent visitors. In her memoir, Molly's Game, which was made into a movie, she would reveal that Tobey was one of the worst tippers, best players, and absolute worst loser. Molly would also reveal that Tobey once tried to humiliate her when she was at the tables by demanding that she should bark like a seal who wants fish in order to earn $1,000 in poker chips, all because he thought she was making a little too much money that night. When the poker game organizer added that she just tried to laugh it off, the actor continued to persist, and he would go on to say, "I'm not kidding. What's wrong? You're too rich now? You won't bark for $1,000? What makes this incident even more funnier is Tobey would even refuse to play without a shuffle master, which is like a $17,000 device that's supposed to deliver a fair random shuffle, and he even tried charging the machine for rent as he wanted $200 a night every time it was used. And coming at number 1 today, we have Christina Aguilera. Now, Christina Aguilera may be a vocal powerhouse, however, rumor has it that the star hasn't always been the nicest when it comes to her fans, and she can actually get pretty nasty with people auditioning or performing on The Voice. When Christina was still a judge on The Voice, she would even go as far to scold one of the contestants because he wasn't paying super close attention to her critiques. With the singer repeatedly asking the male singer to take off his pants, you think she would have stopped after asking him for the 3rd time. And her behavior would just get more worse as the show went on, as her attitude reportedly didn't even stop when the fans were actually famous themselves. Even actress Valerie Bertolini said that she once approached Christina to say, "Oh my god, I think you're a beautiful singer," and she would claim that Christina paid no attention to her comment and just said yeah, whatever, before walking away.
Number 10. Lea Michele. The actress who played the most arrogant character on Glee has recently been outed as being one of the meanest celebrities in Hollywood. The music TV series that helped Lea Michele rise to fame was also her undoing, as it looks like the horrible way she treated the cast and crew on set came back to bite her. Many of her peers, including actress Samantha Ware, spoke out against her behavior. She told Variety, quote, "It was after I did my first performance. That's when it started. The silent treatment, the stare downs, the looks, the comments under her breath, the weird passive aggressiveness, it all built up." After Samantha spoke out, dozens of co-stars, film crew and staff flooded social media with stories about the diva. There were even reports of Michelle only speaking to people through her assistant and not acknowledging her co-star's presence. As expected, she came out and issued an apology, but people still haven't forgotten about her atrocious behavior, and when it was announced that she was replacing fellow actress Beanie Feldstein in the Broadway production of Funny Girl, fans were up in arms and some have even called for a boycott. Number 9. Mike Myers. His name is synonymous with the hilarious and charismatic character Austin Powers. However, the actor is reportedly completely different in real life, especially on set. There have been numerous reports suggesting that Myers is a nightmare to work with some even claiming him to be a control freak and grumpy. It has come to light that the actor makes tons of demands of his assistants. In fact, Myers reportedly made life a daily nightmare for the cast and crew of one of his biggest films. According to Amy Hill, who was his co-star in The Cat in the Hat, she said it was a horrible, nightmarish experience. Hill claimed that he selfishly kept everyone waiting for hours, overruled the director, and even had someone standing by just holding his personal chocolates in a dish. Quote, "It was so weird, it was just the worst, I was miserable." Another story involves a fan that offered to buy the actor a drink. After telling Myers how much he enjoyed his work, Myers allegedly just looked at him and said, "I can afford my own drinks," cursed at him, and said, "Save your money for my next movie." Ouch. Apart from being notoriously difficult to work with, his mean-spirited attitude towards regular people have shrunk his fan base down to a fraction of what it used to be. Number 8. Rachel Ray. The celebrity cook has a reputation for being a meanie. Many fans in her audience have reported that before filming her show, she often avoids speaking to them and appears cold and disinterested, and just looks like she would rather be somewhere else. But it's not just her fans. In fact, several famous chefs have publicly come out saying that they straight up don't like her, like Martha Stewart and the late Anthony Bourdain. Even members of Ray's own family have turned against her. In 2013, scandal broke out after Ray's aunt, Geraldine, tragically died while staying at Ray's house. But neither Ray nor her husband Jon showed up at the funeral. Instead, she was allegedly tweeting about cats, recipes, and TV shows, which led her cousin, Gina Mesnick, to speak out against her. Quote, "I found it very insensitive and inappropriate. It just shows how demeaning Rachel was to my family on the day we buried my mom after she died under such horrible circumstances." Her fan base is now practically non-existent. In fact, a good portion of the internet harbors a deep loathing for the chef. There's so many online forums dedicated to Rachel Ray slander. In fact, there's even a blog called Rachel Ray Sucks, and you can guess what kind of things people post on there. Number 7. Russell Crowe. The actor has had a reputation for being outright mean to both his Hollywood peers and his fans, making him an extremely controversial figure in the industry. I mean, where to start with Russell Crowe? There were rumors that he threatened any media platform that published stories about him having a fling with Courtney Love. But a great example of his overall attitude is when he intimidated and attacked the producer of the BAFTA Awards for cutting his speech short and preventing him from reciting poetry. In 2005, he was then charged with criminal possession of a weapon for allegedly throwing a phone and cutting a hotel clerk's eye, all because he was unable to get connected with his wife. One of the lesser talked about but worrying incidents involves Crowe and rapper Azealia Banks. Crowe forcibly removed her from a party he was hosting. Not only that, but he was said to have been violent and allegedly spat on her and used racist language. The Australian actor is also notoriously difficult to work with and is known for regularly shouting at his scriptwriters, yelling at them on phone calls while discussing the story. So it's it's safe to say that he lost not only film roles but a lot of fans due to his outright nastiness. Number 6. Jared Leto. The actor and singer really seemed to be getting a lot of backlash in recent years, especially in the era of the Me Too movement. It seemed that out of his fellow Hollywood celebrities, not everyone was willing to be silent when they heard he was behaving inappropriately towards young women. In 2018, Suit Life of Zack and Cody star Dylan Sprouse came forward on Twitter and brought disturbing allegations against him to light. Quote, "Yo, Jared Leto, now that you've slid into the DMs of every female model aged 18 to 25, what would you say your success rate is?" As you would have predicted, the tweet totally blew up and many people were happy that he was finally getting called out. The situation quickly escalated when Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn tweeted the following as an answer to Sprouse's initial tweet. Quote, "He starts at 18 on the internet? Aside from predatory behavior, Leto has treated his fans horribly and was seen on occasion randomly giving the finger to audience members. As a result, he really doesn't have many mainstream fans left, save for the fans of his cult/band 30 Seconds to Mars." Number 5. Ellen DeGeneres. She was one of the most popular talk show hosts in the world only a few years ago, with fans across the globe. But all that came crashing down for Ellen DeGeneres when she was exposed for being ruthless to her employees when the cameras weren't rolling, and just a downright mean-spirited person. Her motto was ironically, "Be kind," and that completely backfired on her when former employees started coming forward with their Ellen horror stories. In a BuzzFeed article, the comedian was labeled a bully and named as the culprit for creating a toxic work environment by one current and 10 former employees who anonymously gave their true thoughts about her in the article. They essentially confirmed what up until then had only been rumors, with one TV writer claiming that Ellen required anyone who talks to her at work to chew gum from a bowl outside of her office first, and that she would frequently send staff home to shower if she thought that they smelled bad. While the accusations haven't hurt her bank balance, Ellen's image has been tarnished forever, and you'd have to search the internet for days to find anyone that still supports her. Number 4. Catherine Zeta-Jones. You wouldn't think the actress was someone with a bad attitude, but it appears that's exactly what she has. The most famous story about her happened way back in 1998 when an 8-year-old girl was attending a special screening of The Mask of Zorro. She went up to Catherine Zeta-Jones and asked her for some advice on acting, as that is the career path that she wanted to follow. Catherine allegedly looked her up and down and said sarcastically, "You're pretty enough, I suppose," before turning back to her conversation. Not to mention what she said in 2018, which really highlighted how she perceives herself. Quote, "I'm sick of being humble, I really am. Sorry I'm rich, so sorry I'm married to a movie star, so sorry I'm not so bad looking." In fact, according to Page 6, the actress regularly sings her own praises and brags about how much money she has compared to other people. In 2003, she was quoted saying, "$1 million isn't a lot of money for people like us." I mean, if that wasn't enough, she said, quote, "Some people collect art or lots of money. We collect houses because if we have to look at something, we prefer the view." Yeah, most people were not jumping to support the actress with a track record of saying things like that. Number 3. Katherine Heigl. Television medical drama Grey's Anatomy catapulted Katherine Heigl into the limelight. The thing is, she has a reputation of being extremely unpleasant to work with, and after trashing her most popular movie ever, she lost a whole bunch of fans. I'm talking about 2007's Knocked Up. It was not just hilarious but very well received all round, scoring an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes and bringing in $219 million at the box office against a $25 million budget. But Katherine was less than thrilled about her participation in the movie and called the film sexist, telling Vanity Fair in 2008 that she thought the movie, quote, "paints women as shrews, as humorless and uptight. It paints the men as lovable, goofy, fun-loving guys." She went on to say that she had a hard time with the film on some days because she said that her character was a B-word and a killjoy. Not only that, but Heigl's bad reputation stems largely from her decision to decline a second Emmy nomination for Grey's Anatomy in 2008. She released a cringy public statement that claimed she simply wasn't given the material this season to warrant an Emmy nomination. Talk about biting the hand that feeds you. Number 2. Jamie Lynn Spears. Someone that has lost all support from what little fan base she had to begin with is Jamie Lynn Spears. She's known pretty much as the younger sibling of Britney Spears, but she didn't exactly hide long in her sister's shadow before entering the limelight. Although she made a few appearances in film and television as a child, she didn't receive star status until landing the lead role as Zoe Brooks on the Nickelodeon show Zoe 101. After 3 years on the very popular show, the then 16-year-old announced that she was pregnant, effectively ending her role and putting her acting career on hiatus. But people dislike the star because of the horrific way she has treated her sister over the years. In fact, fans of Britney have heavily criticized Jamie Lynn for an apparent lack of support during her sister's 14-year-long conservatorship. In fact, the former actress has been accused of trying to steal Britney's fortune, fighting against the movement to free her from her conservatorship, and writing tell-all books to try and profit off of her sister's name while trying to make her look bad. With Britney now finally able to speak up for herself and reportedly working on her own memoir, it will probably result in even more exposure of Jamie Lynn's horrific behavior. Number 1. Faye Dunaway. Once called the worst person in Hollywood by Bette Davis, the Academy Award winner is no doubt one of the meanest people in the industry. In 2019, she was actually fired from the Broadway production of Tea at 5 because of bizarre behavior which included hurling objects at crew members and slapping her wig fitting team, throwing salad on the floor, and even insisting that no one wear white to rehearsal because it's distracting. That's not all. In fact, she reportedly shrieks at service industry employees and thinks that her plane tickets should be upgraded as a matter of principle. A flight attendant once claimed Dunaway was screaming at everyone, saying, "Don't you know who I am?" And while filming Chinatown, the actor once reportedly threw a cup of urine on director Roman Polanski because he wouldn't let her use the restroom. In 2019, she was also sued by her former personal assistant, who claimed that she regularly and relentlessly subjected him to, quote, demeaning tirades, and used his sexual orientation as a gay man against him. And according to an insider, Dunaway was so demonic on the set of Mummy Dearest that no one dared to approach her for fear of being verbally attacked. So it's not surprising that she no longer has many fans left at all.
And at number 10, we have Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase has had so many bad interactions with people over the years, we truly just do not have the time to name them all. One story came from comedian Rob Huebel, who was so excited to meet the star. However, when Huebel approached him and tried to talk to Chevy Chase responded by slapping him in the face, then saying, quote, "Can't you see I'm talking to someone, kid?" Excuse me, what? Slapping someone because they tried to talk to you? Chevy is also the only former SNL cast member that is banned from the show because he slapped cast member Cherry O'Terry while he was guest hosting in 1997. He was also known at SNL for being very insensitive with his jokes, basically insulting anyone and everyone. According to the book Saturday Night, A Backstage History of Saturday Night Live, Chevy was a, quote, viciously effective put-down artist, the sort who could find the one thing somebody was sensitive about, a pimple on the nose, perhaps. Definitely not the vibe I was picking up from watching his movies. And at number 9, James Corden. Late night host James Corden seems like a sweetheart on TV, and he's beloved by many around the world because of this. But his reputation off camera is quite the opposite. And he's actually known to be awful to staff on set and even fans too. His reputation has gotten so bad that when he did a Reddit AMA back in 2019, tons of people used the thread to share their terrible interactions with Corden. One user reminded everyone about the time that Corden showed up to a private Writers Guild meeting to advocate for lower pay for TV writers, even though they're known for being paid pretty low wages already. Another spoke about how they saw the movie A League of Their Own being filmed, and during the filming they saw Corden throw multiple tantrums over minor things. The last person said that they had tea on all the late night hosts, including Corden, saying that James Corden is known as an among writers and Jimmy Fallon is an alcoholic. However, Jimmy Kimmel is actually a good guy apparently, according to this Reddit user. All in all, it seems that Corden's a nice guy act is all fake. And at number 8, Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts is another actress who has a pretty good reputation in the media. However, tons of people on Reddit expose that she's actually mean in real life. One of the commenters claimed that they had worked with her on a photo shoot, and apparently the whole time she was basically screaming at everyone. And apparently it's a well-known thing that when cameras are not rolling, she is terrible on set. Another popular rumor is that the cast of the set of the movie Hook hated her so much her nickname was, quote, Tinkerhell. However, to her credit, she had just ended her engagement with fellow actor Kiefer Sutherland after learning that he was cheating on her. Apparently, Roberts decided to not give herself a break after the split and started filming Hook days later. And even though there were rumors that director Steven Spielberg hated working with her on that movie, he also came to her defense when asked about her behavior,
He said, quote, "Julia probably went through the most trying times of her life, and it was simply bad timing for all of us that she happened to start on Hook at that low point." And at number 7, Mike Myers. This one breaks my heart, but the comedy legend is actually really terrible in real life. He's known for being mean to colleagues, fans, and his personal assistants. In an interview with the AV Club, Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat co-star Amy Hill shed some light on how bad he can be on set. Apparently, he hired an assistant, and their entire job was to follow him around all day and feed him chocolate from a Tupperware container when he wanted it. She also exposed that he was a diva, making everyone wait around for him, as well as micromanaging everyone on set. The director of Wayne's World, Penelope Spheres, is another colleague that had some choice words to say about Myers. She called him, quote, "emotionally needy," and saying that he, quote, "got more difficult as the shoot went along." And at number 6, Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock is another star that has shocked people with just how mean she can be in real life. When fans have had the chance to meet her in real life, they might be expecting to see warm characters like her role in The Blind Side. But that's not the case. A former fan named Denise Codes told Star Magazine in 2012 about a run-in with Bullock. Apparently, her and her husband, who is a veteran in a wheelchair, were out for a walk, and the couple ran into her during the filming break. Apparently, the couple asked for an autograph, but things did not go well. Denise said, quote, "Sandra was so rude. She covered her face and yelled. He just wanted an autograph, and she actually yelled at him." Now, I understand not having the time to greet fans and how annoying it probably is to be hounded, but like a single wheelchair-bound veteran and his wife, in what world does their polite request for an autograph warrant a yelling match? You know, we don't know the full story, but that one's pretty bad. Halfway number 5, Jon Hamm. So this one is extra juicy because it involves one celebrity calling out another. In this case, Kathy Griffin called out Jon Hamm for being rude to her at a party. In her memoir, comedian Kathy Griffin shared a story about Jon Hamm confronting her at a party, rudely asking her who invited her. He even went on to make comments about her, quote, "failed career" and mocked her age. At the dinner, she was speaking with Jack Nicholson when Hamm came up to her and asked her, quote, "what are you doing here?" Then she replied, quote, "I earned my seat at the table. What are you doing here?" Kathy said that Jon continued to get drunk as she was discussing Rupert Murdoch with Jack, where she continued saying, quote, "Hammy picks that moment to start whispering boozy yammering into my ear. First it was him saying, 'You know your Emmy isn't a real Emmy.' I let that one go, but he whispered, 'You're so old.'" And Kathy admitted it was not only the rude comments that pissed her off, but the fact that he was interrupting some precious time alone with Jack Nicholson. And honestly, I just have no idea how Jon Hamm could make those comments and not think that Kathy Griffin was gonna blast him for it. And at number 4, Catherine Zeta-Jones. Catherine Zeta-Jones gained a reputation as a mean girl after it was revealed that she made some questionable comments to a young fan. Allegedly, when an 8-year-old fan told Zeta-Jones that she wanted to become an actress, the fan was left completely devastated. The girl recalled the awkward moment years later, saying, quote, "She turned to me, looked up and down and said, quote, 'You're pretty enough, I suppose,' then went back to her conversation. I went from feeling at ease in the world to constantly thinking about how everyone was judging me on my appearance." But that's not the only comment that has gotten Zeta-Jones backlash. In one interview with The Mirror, she said, quote, "I'm sick of being humbled. I really am. Sorry I'm rich. Sorry I'm married to a movie star. Sorry I'm not so bad looking." And based on those comments, I'm definitely sensing some mean girl energy. And at number 3, Katherine Heigl. Katherine Heigl quickly became one of Hollywood's most beloved stars, but she ended up earning herself a bad reputation just as fast. She first became a household name on the show Grey's Anatomy, but she burned bridges with the show in 2008 when she actually pulled her name out of contention for an Emmy Award after being nominated. Heigl said in a statement, quote, "I did not feel that I was given the material this season to warrant an Emmy nomination, and in an effort to maintain the integrity of the Academy organization, I withdrew my name from contention." But of course, fans of the show, as well as creator and writer Shonda Rhimes, were not pleased, and quickly found a reason to write Heigl off the show. Heigl got some more bad press after she decided to badmouth one of her own movies, Knocked Up, in a 2007 cover interview with Vanity Fair. After stirring a bad PR, she was essentially blacklisted from Hollywood. And at number 2, Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg earned a bad reputation after he was interviewed by journalist Romina Puga and came off very rude, belittling her throughout. During their conversation, Eisenberg made tons of digs at Puga, like making fun of her interview style, joking that she had questions written on her hand, and joking that she was on his time when she joked that he should hurry up. During the interview, it seemed like there was a potential their banter was actually playful flirting, but Puga revealed later that she was hurt by the interview and his belittling comments, while Eisenberg felt that she found his dry humor amusing. Eisenberg said after, quote, "I remember she was laughing. Even after she left, I said to people in the room, what a relief. Like that was the most funny, interesting interview I'd had all day." So his rudeness could just be summed up to miscommunication.